Hi guys, I'm Samina and welcome to the Cupcake Confession where I show you how you can learn to make amazing decadent desserts and sweet treats. If this is something that you enjoy, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you do that, also don't forget to ding this little bell button. That way you will be notified every time I post a new recipe. Today I'm showing you these soft, pillowy and absolutely fluffy rose and banana madeleines. They are such a treat, especially in these summer months with your tea or coffee in the afternoons. So the first thing you want to do is take 2 room temperature eggs, and into that I'm going to add some caster sugar. Now the reason that I'm sifting the caster sugar is because there are usually some lumps like you can see here. So these lumps need to be discarded and you only need the sugar that passes through the sieve. Now on a medium speed using my electric beaters, I'm just going to keep beating these eggs for about 4 minutes, and you'll see that right now the consistency is really starting to increase, and by the 4 minute mark it starts to really grow in volume, and it has almost tripled in volume at this stage. So now we are doing this at the 3 minute mark. So once the 3 minutes are done, I'm going to add in some of this mashed bananas. So it's just one banana actually, and I've mashed it very roughly with a spoon or a fork. And now in the next 1 minute, so for a total of 4 minutes, I'm going to beat this on my electric beaters on medium speed. And you'll see that it goes really pale in color as well, from a dark yellow to a super pale white, almost off-white creamy color. Now to that I'm going to add some all-purpose flour and some baking powder. So I've alternated here. So what you can do is you could actually sift the all-purpose flour and baking powder before and whisk it to combine, but I've saved a step here. So I add it in a way that I add a little bit of the all-purpose flour and the baking powder, then some more flour, sift it, and then here it's very important to fold the batter and not mix it in any random direction, because all of that lovely air that you've created by beating the eggs for 4 minutes, you do not want to knock all the air out. So once you add the first installment of the baking powder and the all-purpose flour and you folded it well, then I add the final installment of the all-purpose flour and I'm folding this again. It's very important that from this folding stage onwards, every time that you interact with the batter, it has to be folded in and not just mixed in any direction. You want to preserve as much of that air, because that's the air that gives you that fluffy, pillowy feel. So now you can see that the flour has mixed well with the rest of the batter. So I'm going to add some of this melted butter. Now the butter is still slightly warm, which is how we want it. We don't want it to be hot, but slightly warm or lukewarm. Now again, as we discussed before, we are just going to fold the batter and the butter so that everything mixes well and becomes uniform. It looks like it's going to be slightly difficult and that it won't come together, but keep mixing and you'll see that eventually all of the butter mixes well with this batter. It's now time to add the final ingredient, which is our rose water. So I've added a little bit of the rose water. You could also use rose extract, but if you're using an extract, then you would have to adjust the quantity and add just a little bit less, because extracts are much stronger. Now this will rest at room temperature for about an hour, and then we'll start baking our madeleines. So my oven is preheating now at 180 degrees C or 350 Fahrenheit, and here I have a madeleine tray which I have greased with some butter, and I'm using an ice cream scoop and just adding this. The madeleines will bake for about 13 minutes in the oven, and while that's baking we'll make our glaze. So here I have some icing sugar, and to that I've added some rose syrup. You could also just add the rose water or the rose extract, but I just love the light baby pink color that it gives. You could add some food color if you'd like, but I just love this combination. So I've added some icing sugar and rose syrup, and to that now you have to be very careful when adding the water, because if you add too much in one go, it's just going to make the icing glaze really super runny. Because initially you may think that it's too thick and it's not coming together, but once you keep stirring this, that thick glaze suddenly starts to loosen up slightly, like so. So be very mindful of the water that you add drop by drop. I've included everything in the description box below. My madeleines are out of the oven. I've let them rest for about 5 minutes, and now just look how fluffy and soft that is. that is just like a pillow. It is so soft and spongy and it's just bouncing back and forth. And now it's time to add our glaze to these soft and fluffy rose banana madeleines. I'm going to dip one end of these madeleines into the glaze, and then I'm going to top it with some dried rose petals just to give it a pop of color and flavor as well. So that is basically it, and it's so incredibly easy to make these delightful tea treats. So I hope you give this a go. You will not be disappointed. If you have any comments or suggestions, pop them down in the comments below. If this is something that you enjoy and if you want to be notified every time I post a new recipe, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And while you do that, also don't forget to ding this little bell button. I'll see you again next time. Bye.